All right, there. So the live recording button was a little complicated for me to click on, apparently. So now I get to do a voiceover, and you get to watch me in live, whatever, see what I'm doing. Basically, what I'm explaining here is that tonight we have a ladder race, which is between my dirt team, the Dirty Deuces, and a Sisu team. And we are here. I'm showing the ladder website, the Dirty Deuces. We're in the American League. Looks like we're ranked 18th right now. And Sisu Kohota is down at 23, and they challenged us to the race. The way a ladder race is it's a 5 versus 5 scratch race. First place gets 10 points, second gets 9, third 8, fourth 7, on down to 1 point. So basically you want to, finish in front of their riders or in some combination to earn more points than the other team. The route that was chosen is called Coast to Coast, which is on this new southern expansion, and I like it because it's flat, and I'm really good at the flat stuff. Except at the tail end, it goes around where I'm pointing with the cursor. It goes around Jarvis Island, and it has the Jarvis KOM, which isn't too hard, right? It's 2% or so grade. Here I'm showing the course profile is pretty flat, a little bump there, and then underwater. Then towards the end is a climb. So we were chatting all day, thinking maybe me and another rider, Simon, who are bigger, we have higher wattage, we could possibly sneak off the front where the faster guys on our team would stay in the back and hopefully make the opposite team, Sisu, make a choice of chasing Simon and I down or staying back with the other riders or doing a bunch of work, basically. And as you'll see, things changed at the start line. We had kind of 3 different plans for how we could do it, approach this race. And, whatever Mike Tyson says, something you never know until you get punched in the mouth or whatever. Something about, you kind of got to wait and see how it turns out. So here I am finishing up my warm-up workout before the race gets started. So now I'm in the start pen. My dirt team is in the black jersey. The Sisu team is in the blue, of course. We happen to be Club Ladder 10,000 for some reason. So here's the start. And you can see that dirt guy didn't get off the line. That was our captain, Radam. And so that's the first decision point here. And if you watch the time clock down at the bottom, he's staying at 0.0 watts per kilogram. And so I'm listening, and we're trying not to go too hard because we're trying to figure out if Radam can get connected or not. Sometimes in these races you could make a chat and say, hey, slow up, we need, technical difficulty, and see if he got it. Turns out in the end, he got the latest Zwift update, and there was some kind of connection issue, and it couldn't get resolved. So we're trying to take it fairly easy right here, trying to figure out if he's getting connected, and now his time is showing up as 8-9 seconds back. And so we're just waiting to see what's going on. I'm at the front in case we make a decision to go for it, and I see Simon is around nearby as well, and so we're just kind of waiting to see. The look on my face is nothing great. I look pretty gassed already, but I'm not. So I'm just trying to stay in the front here to kind of make sure no one on Sisu takes off on us while we're still trying to decide what we're going to do. But now at this point, Radam's, a minute back, and he's going to end up getting dropped out of the event eventually, I think. letting the Sisu guys roll to the front, kind of see what they're trying to do, if they're going to send someone off the front, maybe. I see Simon is now to my right on the white line, kind of. And you can see the course profile. I didn't have, well, I had sauce up. I'm not sure where my course profile is, but the course profile in the upper right hand corner, you can see we're still in the really flat section. Okay, so there I clicked on the right thing in sauce. So now you can see the course profile. I'm the green star on the left down by the Deucez logo. You can see just by being distracted for a moment there, I slipped to the back. That draft gauge is really helpful. You can see it changing as I pull forward there. It was at like 90, now it's at 0. And my watts jumped from 160 to 250. Again, just kind of, I don't want to say patrolling the front, just to make sure, because I'm the weakest rider in this bunch of the 10 of us. Okay, now Simon in the glowing blue decides that he's going to go off the front and see what happens. And here I'm waiting, knowing that I'm supposed to go up too. So here I go. Sisu didn't chase him, so I made a decision to sprint up ahead of him. And my plan here is to roll right over top of him so that he can grab onto my wheel as I'm coming through fast. And you'll start to see the times on the right-hand side. Ragsdale, Westhouse, those are Sisu riders. 1 second, 2 seconds. And this is a great decision point here because we're both heavier riders and we're going downhill 1%. When Simon and I are going downhill, but literally no one can catch us because we're heavy. We know how to make it go. Momentum. 50 kilometers an hour, doing 450 watts. So you'll see this time gap go from 5 on up. And so we're only 2 kilometers in. There's 24 kilometers to go. And I'm thinking I'm basically going to die. Simon is strong. Look at that pull. And my draft gauge now is up to 120. So I'm in the right spot behind him. And I'm still doing 400 watts just to, okay, so now I'm going to come over top of him. 450 watts. That's not sustainable with 23 kilometers to go. It was like way too hard, but now we're at a 10-second gap, right? You look at the timing on the right-hand side, 10 seconds, 11 seconds. And we know the guys behind us are actually, faster. They're going to be faster up the KOM at the end. And it's just a matter there. Simon pops a draft power up. He's trying to save some watts while he's on my wheel. And so he and I are basically going to do a time trial, or TT it, as we say, right? Where we're just going to follow each other. Take turns as much as we can. And that power bar in the upper left corner, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And you can see my heart rate is being broadcast up there too, 169. 180 is my max. 170 is about the hardest I can push in this scenario. So I'm at 169 and he pulls in front of me. I got to do 400 watts just to keep up. Which isn't, I'm not saying bad technique, right? You always want to give ease up a little when you pull in front of the other rider, but I'm doing 400 watts just to try to stay on. And now our time, we're up 14 seconds now. And what's not clear, since we're we don't race these guys every week. We don't know the other riders real well. I've raced Ragsdale before, and maybe one of the other guys, but we don't know them. So who knows how many seconds Simon and I would need in order to stay ahead of these guys to the KOM. So, you know, kind of the thought here is that if we're up front, then our best riders are behind the Sisu riders. So this really isn't a whole lot of exciting stuff to watch. It's just going to be me and Simon TTing until we run out of steam. So we kind of have to be mindful of, you know, being steady on the power, taking turns. See, when he pulls up next to me like that, he's getting no draft, I'm getting no draft. So we got to communicate, and it's really hard when you're pushing the watts and your heart rate is 170. So he went ahead, and I'm trying to just hang on. So now our time gap, if you look on the right, is 20 seconds. So we're talking on Discord and saying, like, Roach and Westhouse, and those are two Sisu riders who are on the front of that rear group, and then Dan and Mike Bell are behind, and so they're getting kind of the red carpet or magic carpet ride from the Sisu riders, and plus it's making Roach and Westhouse use their watts to try to stay close enough. But even they don't know, like, how strong a riders we are and how close they need to be. Can they give up 20 seconds or 10 seconds? How long is it going to be? So we're going to do this for a while, and I'm going to fast forward for a bit until we get to a more exciting part, because this is basically just Simon and I in the TT mode for quite a while. Some cool scenery, I suppose, but we're just taking turns putting out the watts. Alright, so I sped up the video here 5 times, and again, you can see at the bottom of the screen the course profile. Still, it stays pretty flat, so Simon and I, again, taking turns. Now we're going to be going downhill, so we're going to push it a little bit. We're still in that like 14 to 15 second ahead of the Sisu riders. A little bump here. Simon's really strong. You can see going up the bump, he takes the lead. I take the lead going down the hill. Still a 13-second gap. Trying not to drop each other on this short little climb. Now we're up to 18-second gap, but I'm having to put out a lot of watts. And Simon pulls ahead again, so we keep at it for another long while. Okay, so now here we are, I think, on Ocean Boulevard. I just want to show you the cool scenery here. We're kind of coming into this tunnel that goes into this aquarium. This summer, kind of funny story, went to the Omaha Zoo with my mom and family, and they have a aquarium that's just like this, and you walk in it and you get to see all the sharks and everything. So at this point in the race, the guys are talking, I'm gassed, and even this little rise here, I'm gassed, and so the guys are talking about coming up pretty fast up this climb behind us and trying to take off from here. And so I think this is where the catch is made, so to say. Yep, you see the wattage turn to orange. Mike and Dan start pushing like 10 watts a kilogram, which is amazing, guys. And I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? Because they're going to come flying by like a race car, you know, and they're like, just hang on. So I turn the camera to the back to watch them. You can see them make the catch. Simon, saving his strength here, tries to latch onto them, which is more than I can do. So now we have 2 dirt riders with 1 Sisu and Simon, another Sisu trying to catch on. I'm trying to drop back, but not too far. So I'm trying to catch on to these 3 Sisu and hoping that Simon can bridge up to the rest of the pack without bringing more Sisu riders up there. So this was kind of like another decision point in the match. The decision to send Mike and Dan up front and to go before the KOM. I was feeling pretty gassed, so I'm just happy to hang on to the back for as long as I can. So we form a little group here. The 3 Sisu riders, or maybe 2, and Simon and I, just trying to recover a bit. We're going up a small incline. Looks like one of the Sisu they're trying to decide what to do. Their rider, Ragsdale, is 2 seconds behind us, so he could catch up. He's trying to do 4 watts, which is a lot. So he's trying to catch up. They're trying to drop a rider back to help him out. And then their rider decides. Anyway. We're just trying to chill and save some watts. So I'm going to fast forward here, 5x speed. Basically, the 3 Sisu riders and Simon and I kind of just rolling through until we get to the Jarvis KOM. We're trying to keep note of whether Ragsdale will come back. He's 5, 6, 7 seconds down. It looks like they're not trying to drop a rider to bring him back. Maybe they did the math and figured out that they have enough riders to win. At this point, they're saying, hey, let the Sisu riders pull, don't try to close. Because if we try to close the gap, we could bring riders up to where Mike and Dan are. And we don't want to give them more points than necessary. So, again, we're on the flat part by the volcano, heading out towards Jarvis Island. About to hit the KOM. Or once we get out there, we'll hit that KOM bump. And you can see I'm unzipping my shirt, trying to get as much. My face is turning red. It got quite warm. I didn't have the air conditioner on today because the weather's been nice. Sporting my Hugo Gravel jersey that actually is a little too big, which is kind of nice. And this is where the KOM starts. So the video slowed down. And I basically told the team at this point, you're all going to drop me. And Radam doesn't believe me. He's such an optimist. Radam's our team captain, so he's just saying, go, 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 you can do it, you know. And this climb actually has a couple of steps to it. So, so here it flattens out. So I'm not being dropped yet. I'm still hanging, but I know I don't have it in my legs. I just gave too much on that flat section. Here it pitches up again. You can see the incline there at 4 or 5%. And it's kind of funny, right? It's 5%. It's the 3 places on the screen. And you would think that I should be able to see it on the heads-up display or up on the map. But for some reason, I look at my avatar. So I want it down low. That's why I have that 4% down low. And right here is where Radam yells at me, like, keep up. And I'm like, I got nothing. She's like, it's flat, catch him. I got nothing. You see me, I turn my head sideways when I'm working really hard. And my mouth is wide open, nice and ugly like. And they're off, and they're gone. And I put my head down, and I'm like, all I can do, I can't even look at the screen. I just got to do what I can do. And at this point, maybe the video isn't super exciting because I pretty much go solo from here to the finish. I'm still giving it some effort, holding out hope that if I can make it over the top, as you can see on the profile down below, right? I have a good downhill. I can maybe chase if I have anything left. But tonight, spent it all in the first 20 kilometers. So we'll speed it up here. So up the video to 5x again. You can see I'm over the top of the KOM now, going downhill 2%, but I'm like, I stopped pedaling because it's so hard trying to recover. Another little bump, and then was trying to see the guy in front of me, how far ahead he is. He's 16, 17 seconds ahead, which with 2 kilometers to go is probably too much. I'm looking at his watts. He's doing 4 watts, 3 watts, 2.7. I'm like, he's pedaling with purpose, trying to keep away. I wouldn't say keep away from me, but just try to stay up there with the rest, stay in the draft maybe. And I pretty much know that I'm not going to catch him. Half kilometer left, so I'm far enough in 25 seconds to Ragsdale, so I know my position is what it is and the points are what it is. There's the finish line, and I'm spent. So I came in 8th place. My face kind of says it all. I look like stunned, like I'm hot. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I want to pedal. So there's the results. Roach from Sisu got first, so he got 10. Dan and Mike Bell from our team got second and third, so 9 and 8 points. Montecito got 4th. Simon on our team, I guess I didn't really do the math, but I think they beat us by like 1 point. So if Radam didn't have the technical, basically, like, he probably would have been ahead of a Sisu rider, and we probably would have won, because I managed to get in front of Ragsdale. So even though I was the worst ranked rider, I ended up finishing higher than, not in last. So anyway, I think I just said, wow, I'm so hot. That was hard. So it was a fun race. It was a hard race. Very difficult, basically. That's what a ladder race is like. You can see how it's different than a ZRL race or others because there's like a team strategy. You can see how that played out for us. It's nice to contribute to the team. Even though we didn't win, we would have won if it wasn't for a technical, glitch. But it certainly was fun. Thanks for watching. Until the next one. Like and subscribe, all those things. Later.